CNN just crashed Donald Trump's plane story, and wait until you hear this. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. If you've been paying attention to the news recently, and if not, dude, subscribe to our channel. What are you waiting for? If you've been paying attention, you know Donald Trump recently said he would accept a massive new plane from the nation of Qatar as his new Air Force One. In case you missed it, here's a rundown.
Air Force One, an undeniable representation of American power, ferried President Trump to the Middle East today. But 3 months ago, the president toured an opulent Boeing 747, described as a flying palace with a master bedroom, elegant bathrooms, and staircase, offered to the U.S. government free of charge by the royal family of Qatar. Trump seems all in.
I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
The Qatari plane is built by Boeing in the U.S., but it would have to be scrubbed for spyware, and it lacks at least $1 billion worth of presidential parts, a flying situation room, a medical clinic, and top-secret technology.
So, in other words, Trump may think he's getting a deal, but in reality, the plane is far more trouble than it's worth. In addition to the additional parts mentioned in that report, national security experts are unanimous in saying the plane would have to be completely disassembled to look for any foreign devices. Those could range from listening devices to trackers to bombs. There is also the problem of a foreign nation donating a plane to a president, which violates the Emoluments Clause of the U.S. Constitution. Presidents cannot accept luxury foreign gifts like this. Now, Trump did violate the clause all through his Middle East tour, encouraging foreign nations to invest in Trump coin and arranging for personal business deals. But we digress. Confronted with the issue of the Emoluments Clause, here's what presidential spokesperson and liar Barbie Karoline Leavitt had to say.
Let's be very clear. The government of Qatar, the Qatari family, has offered to donate this plane to the United States Air Force, where that donation will be accepted according to all legal and ethical obligations. It will be retrofitted to the highest of standards by the Department of Defense and the United States Air Force. This plane is not a personal donation or a gift to the President of the United States. And everyone who wrote that last week should go and correct their stories, because this is a donation to our country and to the United States Air Force. As for a timeline, because it is the United States Air Force that is accepting the plane, I would defer you to them for specifics, because the president, frankly, has nothing to do with it. It's the Air Force's project to take on.
Once again, Trump and Leavitt are not on the same page here. And there's a new twist in this story, so stay with me. Trump touts the Qatari plane as a gift in honor of himself, meaning it is not a gift to the United States. Furthermore, it will immediately be withdrawn from service when he leaves office and become part of his presidential library. The only library for the illiterate. But again, I digress. With Democrats in Congress moving to block receipt of the plane, and with even Republican officials hand-wringing about the issues of its constitutionality, a new development in this story has arisen. One that seems like it could send Trump's hopes into a nosedive. CNN now reports that multiple sources from inside the White House have confirmed that there is more to this story. And this is a longish clip, so make sure you watch all of it. You'll want all the details. Here we go.
President Donald Trump has talked about this potential deal for a Qatari Boeing 747 to act as Air Force One, as a gesture, a gift from the Qatari royal family, which the U.S. would receive for free, he said. But sources tell my colleagues and me that it was the Trump administration that first made the outreach to Qatar after Trump came into office, that it is in fact the U.S. that made this request of Doha. The administration was told by Boeing, which is making the next generation of Air Force One planes, that the two planes would not arrive until 2027. Trump wanted something sooner, so the Pentagon, with the White House's backing, reached out to Qatar. Boeing had given the administration a list of possible planes that could work as Air Force One in the meantime, and Qatar had one of those planes. The president's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, he also helped facilitate these early meetings. The Pentagon then offered to buy the plane, and Qatar offered to sell it. Now, we're told, the lawyers are still hashing out the details, but the White House is still claiming that this is going to be a donation from Qatar, or as Trump wrote on Truth Social recently, a gift free of charge Trump had said that a Qatari official had told him, "If I can help you, let me do that." Now, publicly, Qatar has not refuted Trump, and in his visit to Doha last week, everything went smoothly. But the real story is certainly more nuanced and different from how Trump and his aides have been telling it. Even if this deal is signed, current and former officials have told CNN that it could take 2 years and hundreds of millions of dollars, several times the value of the plane, to strip it down and rebuild it with technical and security standards fit for a U.S. presidential aircraft.
So maybe Trump made a Christmas list and the Qataris, who are Muslims who generally don't celebrate Christmas, are delivering early? Like, really early? Yeah, right. Look, we all know what's going on here. This plane is a bribe for a whiny, orange, demented geriatric who thinks flying on Air Force One isn't glamorous enough. This isn't about promoting the image of the United States or about diplomacy. It's about Donald Trump's vanity and ego, like everything else. So what else is new, right? The thing that truly amazes me is that Trump flaunts his corruption. I know people in the US are cynical and feel the whole Washington set is corrupt, but even if that was true, shouldn't Trump at least try to hide it? Why do his supporters cheer on his corruption? Maybe they think he's setting an example of a man sticking it to the system as an example to all conservatives, right? But Trump, as president, is the system. And the truth of the matter is, he's sticking it to the American people, especially his own voters. Now, as someone flying commercial this week, and Delta, if you're watching, feel free to upgrade me, and as an American taxpayer, I have to say this disgusts me. I'm also going on record now to say that Trump will not get his Qatari plane. The risks are too great and the cost is too impractical. Guess he'll just have to stick to his existing luxury jet. Cue the orange running tears. This is Occupy Democrats.